Hello, I know I have not made a video in a while, and that is why I'm making one now. So this is going to be about a thing that happened to me in my English class the other day. Um, so we're all sitting in class, and our teacher says to us, okay, we're gonna start reading this short story here. And before we start, she says to this student, generally, sort of a very good student, she says, hey, could you close the door for us? And the student goes, no, thank you. And we are all like, what? And this is a teacher that you don't mess with, by the way. So then she calls on this other kid to close the door, and he goes and closes the doors, and it's all damned. So, we get out our short story, and we're about to start reading. And she says to this other kid, also generally a really good student, good friend of mine, she says to him, hey, why don't you have your short story? And he goes, I didn't pick it up because we picked it up on the way in. He goes, I didn't pick it up. She's like, would you go pick it up now, please? And he goes, no. She's like, okay, so how are you gonna do your assignment? And he's like, well, I guess I just won't. So anyway, this other kid runs over and grabs it for him, and he sort of sets it on his desk and just leans back. So we're supposed to be highlighting it, and she's like, hey, could you get out your highlighter? She says to this kid. And the kid's like, I don't have one. She's like, could you borrow one from your neighbor? And he's like, no thanks. And the kid sitting next to him picks up and he's like, here's your highlighter for you. And he's just sort of leaning back in his chair. And the first kid who said no thanks to closing the door also doesn't have the short story out. And at this point, the whole class is just like, what? But we're starting reading, we're doing our stuff, and the she says to the first kid, hey, could you close the blinds for us? And she's like, no thanks. We're all like, what? And the class is just freaking out. She's like, okay, would you please go close the blinds? And she's like, no thanks. And by this time, the whole class is just like, what? And then she's like, okay, Avery, could you go close the blinds, please? And he's like, yeah, sure, okay. So there are 4 characters in this story, Bartleby, Gingernut, Nippers, and Turkey. Gingernut. Why? Anyway, so, we're reading this, and we get to a point in the story where Bartleby says to the narrator, when the narrator asks him, hey, could you do this thing you're supposed to be doing? He goes, I'd rather not. We're all like, did he, I think, and so we keep reading. And then he does it again. He's like, the narrator goes, yo, could you do this thing that you're supposed to be doing? And the Bartleby's just like, I prefer not to. And we're all just like, this is not a coincidence. And then at the end of the class, the teacher says, basically just pulls up, it was just a prank, bros. It was just a prank. Look, just a prank. And we're all just like, dang, we got pranked. So a friend of mine, Avery, actually, made another video describing this, in which he's playing a game that I don't know. It has much more strong language than mine, so if you're sensitive to that, do not watch it. It is bad. Yeah. Rate, good, and subscribe.